So we're sitting here in the middle of Hollywood. I can see the beautiful Hollywood Hills, the Hollywood signs around here someplace.
Just over there.
Just over there, okay. And the news today is Screen Actors Guild. Everyone's gone on strike. There is great fear, pain, concern. And, you called it when we spoke 6 months ago. What's going on? How do you view it? And where's it going?
So I think the advances in media artificial intelligence have been huge. You've now got the Drake AI song, or my favorite, Ice Ice Matrix, where the Matrix characters sing Ice Ice Baby.
Yes.
You've got real-time rigging. You have real-time special effects. You've got high-definition creation of anything. What does that mean? It means that the whole industry is about to be disrupted because the cost of production reduces. Mm-hmm. It was reducing in some ways anyway, and we've seen this move where the cost of consumption went to zero with Napster and Spotify, and then the cost of creation started going to zero with Snapchat and TikTok. And now we have a question of, what are the defaults going to be now?
And consumers only have one limited currency, and that's their attention.
I think so, but consumers are willing to pay for attention. They're willing to pay for quality. Mm-hmm. Well, either premium, mediocre, or otherwise. Because video games, for example, started as a $70 billion industry 10 years ago. The average score went from 69% to 74% on Metacritic over that period, and now they're $180 billion. Movies...
I pay for some of that with my 12-year-olds.
Oh, there you go. Movies went from 40 billion to 50 billion, but the average IMDb movie rating over the last 10 years has been 6.4. It has not changed. No. So you're not producing more, and so they're not consuming more. So there's a question. Will this technology enable an increase in quality because it raises the bar for everyone?
Yes.
There are more movie makers, so there are more excellent movie makers, and the best movie makers become even more excellent.
And we've democratized the tools from an iPhone to the tools on your Mac, and of course YouTube was the first major disruption of the.
It was. Someone like Mr. Beast has a much bigger audience than CNN now.
Yeah.
But that comes down to, what is the key point here? Distribution. You can make good stories, but if no one hears them.
Right. And that's what Disney has as its benefit. It's distribution to its theme parks, to its products, to its channels.
It creates a selling point. But then if we all have our own individualized AIs that can find us what we need and sift through the crap, maybe whole of distribution flips on its head in 5 years as well.
So I can't imagine, I keep thinking that the future of movie consumption is me speaking to my version of Jarvis and saying, I'd like a comedy. I'd like it starring me and three friends of mine and somebody else, and for 90 minutes, and set it in, some setting and go, and have it auto-generate a compelling story that is either because I'm involved in it, I'm enraptured in it, or because my favorite stars are all together in an unlikely place. How far are we from that kind of future?
I'd say probably 3 to 5 years.
So in that case...
But it's not going to be cheap, but it'll be there. And then it'll get cheaper and cheaper.
In that case, there is no distribution needed. A person calls up whatever they want.
I think there is distribution needed, but in a different way. Music... Mm-hmm. We have a variety of different music sites, but how do musicians make their money now? It's not Spotify. 1 million views gets you a few $1,000. T-shirts, merchandising, global stories, because there is that future of the Wall-E type of fat guy sitting with his VR headset.
Yeah.
It's kind of depressing. Just like, the Apple Vision Pro adverts I found kind of depressing when his kids are right there and just puts them on. Got a bit dystopian to me. I think it's more a case of, there are certain stories that everyone wants to talk about. Like here in Hollywood, what do we have this week? We have Oppenheimer and Barbie.
Oh my God. I'm looking forward to Oppenheimer. I will not watch Barbie. Sorry.
Would you watch Barbieheimer?
No, I won't go there.
Well, I mean, we can take it. We can put the scripts into Claude and see what it comes up with.
That would be hilarious.
Hilarious, kind of Barbieheimer. But again, people are talking about the Barbie movie because it's, not... she comes to the real world and she has challenges. It'll be a hit. Mm-hmm. People talk about Oppenheimer because, again, it will be a hit
And these are produced hits.
These are produced hits.
Yeah.
Just like I saw BTS with my daughter, sorry, not BTS, Blackpink, oh gosh, she'll kill me, in Hyde Park a few weeks ago. The biggest K-pop band out of Korea.
Right.
Completely manufactured, but lots of fun. So on the one hand, what you have is what you described, your personalized things. That's kind of like McDonald's. What's
Sure.
the job to be done? The job is comfort. The job isn't to listen to someone else's story and expand from there. It isn't a produced Michelin star meal or just a nice restaurant. One that you can talk about to others. Like, you can cook ingredients yourself at home as well.
Sure.
But humans do like these bigger stories. But then the nature of funding of musicians changed. It was about merchandise. It was about kind of a lot of this other stuff around tours. And so
Sure.
I think the nature of movies...
The
might
business
change.
model has changed. I mean, that's the most interesting thing about exponential technologies is it's changing the business models. And I keep on, advising my entrepreneurs, it's reinvent your business models more than anything else.
You have to always look across the landscape, where is the value peaks?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're sitting there and you're intermediating something and you're offering service value. Like there was that great quote, who was it, from the CEO of Netscape? All value is created by aggregation or disaggregation, bundling or unbundling.
Yeah.
And you think about how the landscape's going to change now as intelligence has moved to the edge. What was once in the hands of the studios and the high priests of media suddenly gets pushed to the edge. Whereas value then, it changes it, it flips it.
So let's go to what's going on right now. So the Screen Actors Guild is on strike because of why?
It's better wages in general, standard stuff, but now there's this rapidly emerging fear of artificial intelligence. So one of the proposals that came in from the other side was that basically all the extras, all the actors, they sign away their rights so they could be used in AI.
So they get a day of wage to get scanned, and then they can be used for the rest of that studio's life in producing background actors.
And they were looking at this like, oh my God, wait, you can do that?
Yeah.
Most people don't even realize you can do that. Script writers are saying no AI generated scripts, which again is a bit weird when they're all using Grammarly and things like that, which was AI. How are you ever going to tell?
Yeah. Where do you draw the line?
Where do you draw the line? Because this is a technology that's coming so fast and is so good that it's almost not like technology at all. It's just very natural the way it emerges. And so you will get to some sort of agreement because the big actors are kind of there, but the defaults that are set now reverberate.
So I think that's an important point that you just made. The decisions, the policies that we create today are going to take us down one path or another for the decades to come.
Yeah, it will affect the whole of Hollywood, what's decided in this moment here, because there won't be another renegotiation for a while. And so, again, how does an actor create value? A top actor has a following, but up-and-comers, how do they break through? What is the apprenticeship to? What does a movie look like in 5 years? Even if you agree as Hollywood not to have any AI, let's just say you have this kind of Dune-style Butlerian jihad and say, no AI, and someone will make a movie about no AI in Hollywood. What do you do when the Chinese film studios
start releasing product
faster than anything? You can make five
in every language out there.
Yeah. Literally every language. We have technology now. Again, maybe this is part of what we're doing. What is possible now? We can translate Peter's voice into just about any language with his voice. So it's not a voice
and match
actor.
my lips and movements exactly.
Match your lips and movements exactly. I'm sure the podcast will be in every language by next year.
Yeah.
And again, it will be in our voices. We can make our voices sound more confident. Mm-hmm. We can take his mannerisms right now and transplant them onto my mannerisms so we match, so we can reshoot scenes with style.
Yeah.
We can turn him into a robot in a few minutes. And in fact, maybe we'll do that in the post. And
yes.
So we'll have a little scene of him becoming a robot. These are all technologies that are here now, and it transforms fundamentally the nature of filmmaking because you only need one shot.
But don't the film actors who are, standing up for their rights to not have them basically demonetized and digitized, the other option is for Hollywood to just create complete artificial characters that they fully own.
Yeah, and you've seen this already with some of the kind of vloggers and, others that have emerged out of Asia in particular, fully AI generated characters.
Yeah.
And you can have entire mythoses around them. And you can say, make it the most attractive Italian guy I've ever seen that's broody and this and that. How are you going to tell it from a human?
Yeah.
I mean, like, these characters can be completely
and
new.
It's far more profitable for the studio to use that digital actor. So there is a disruption coming at every level.
Because the research to revenue pipeline has become so tight, and it sets off a race condition whereby you can only produce 2 movies a year. Suddenly you can produce 20.
And then you can actually, like we do A/B testing in subject headlines, you could create 30 variants of the movie and see which one actually is the best.
Yeah. And I mean, again, you can say, make that speech raw and more emotional. It will adjust the voice to make it raw and more emotional, right? And because you're using such large data sets, and we made all our data sets open, and then we allowed opt-out. We're the only company in the world to allow opt-out because we thought it was the right thing to do. So we had 169 million images opted out of our image data sets. For music, because it's different copyright laws, we have one of the first commercially licensed music models coming out.
So respect for that. But if I'm an artist and I go to the Louvre to be inspired and then go back and paint, and I've been inspired by Da Vinci and I start painting in a style like Da Vinci, where's the difference there?
Where's the difference? And this is the reality. Even though we've done that, by next year, probably by the end of the year, you will have models that have zero scraped data or human art. They will all be synthetic.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to bring your art to it. So there's something Google just released called Style Drop. There's hyper networks, so Hyper Dream Booth. You can take one picture of yourself and the entire model trains to be able to put you into anything, even if you're not in the model. It used to take minutes, hours. Now it's just one picture. Similarly, you can bring any style and it will just mimic and imitate that style. And so all of a sudden, the models themselves, it doesn't matter what they're trained on because there's no human endeavor in those models. And then things like compensation for artists and others, as you said, become a bit mute because all of a sudden you have these amazing stories told by really convincing, amazing actors who may or may not exist. And how are you ever going to tell the difference?
So what's your advice? Let's parse it here. On one side, what's your advice for Hollywood and for actors? And on the other side, I want to ask your advice for artists. Because this is about mindset. This is coming at us at extraordinary speed. There's no stopping it, right? There's no slowing it down. And so you've got to deal with reality.
You got to deal with reality. Again, it's inevitable. Even if, again, Hollywood says no AI, the AI is coming from around the world. So what do? You think, oh, well, my audience suddenly became the whole world.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. You're like, what am I actually known for? Is my acting skills? Well, I will still get these things. You're an up-and-coming actor. You say, I need to build community. I need to kind of show off something more than that. Because again, my acting skills in some areas can be transplanted, but what about real life shows? What about these things? It does throw up the entire thing and adjust it, but then musicians have had to have that adjustment. Mm-hmm. They used to be able to make money on their LPs, and then all of a sudden they had the Napster Spotify moment.
Yes.
There is more protection in music as well, because you basically, according to the Robin Thicke versus Marvin Gaye case, there is an element of style protection in there that doesn't exist in visual media.
Yeah.
And probably won't, because the other part of this is if you're expecting governments to regulate, how can they when there is a global competition going on? They will lose competitiveness to other countries and you'll have regulatory arbitrage.
Yes. And that is something across every industry. It's going to be happening.
Yeah. I think, the concept of, United Artists, it was originally a collective of all the artists. That makes a lot of sense now. I think you have to think about an element of collectivism to share the excess profits, because what's going to happen is movies will get cheaper, profits will go up. You need to support each other as a community here and think again, as a community, what is our story for the next 1, 3, 5, 10 years? Because all of this is going to happen quicker than it takes to make the new Avengers movie.
And quicker than regulators are able to regulate.
And again, the regulators almost certainly won't regulate because they will start falling behind their competitor countries.
I mean, if we look at the internet itself, as it, the media industry never expected the internet to have the disruptive impact it had. And had it known, it probably would have tried to get regulators to have slowed it down or blocked it.
Yeah, the speed is too much. But then also, again, I gave the example earlier, the video game industry has gone from 70 billion to 180 billion over the next
So it's
last 10
quality.
years.
Can we increase quality?
Interactivity.
Okay. Yeah.
Because games are media as well. The media industry has increased in size. The way that value has gone has been redistributed. Value will be redistributed again now. And again, it's like, what is an AI enhanced actor? If you're an actor, what's an AI enhanced photographer, filmmaker? Think about your jobs, the tasks that you do, and what can be augmented if you had a bunch of really talented youngsters working for you, right? You could do more, you could be more. But then it means the bar is just going to keep on raising.